Welcome to the website of calculationsolar.com. This is a free website for online calculations of photovoltaic installations off-grid. As it is shown in the menu, we have a series of tabs and buttons. In our case, to go directly to the area of calculations, we select the tab Calculate or the button Calculation. As noted, we get the data entry menu. First of all, we choose our location by clicking on Select on the map. By Google Maps soon, we select our location. We can select any point on the planet. In this case, we select a location in Cork, Ireland. Pressing the button, it brings us back to the main screen, as it already has captured our latitude and longitude coordinates. We can also observe that the system has calculated the optimum orientation and tilt for the chosen location. We can vary the inclination and orientation as we wish, for example, depending on the roof, peak, and building's orientation. In relation to the type of energy, we choose alternating current and the voltage. In the case of Ireland, we select 230 volts. This element would basically depend on the country. Now we proceed to introduce our consumption by pressing the button Appliances. This will show us a menu. To add our appliances or eliminate some that come by default. In our case, we remove the microwave and we introduce the washer. We vary the hours of daily use and the power of this steam. Then we press the button Close and Save, and we go back to the previous screen. Now we press the button Illumination, and it appears a menu similar to the previous one. This menu helps us to introduce the luminaries of our house, varying the time and power. In the same way as before, if there is not our luminary, press the button Others and write down the luminary that we want to. In this case, we leave it as it is. If we have or we would like to have auxiliary energy, we can select this tab, which recommends us to the minimum output of our generator. Then we can choose the percentage of consumption by month. For this purpose, we have a new window in which we can select between the following options: common house, weekend, or summer and winter holiday house. We also can adapt the percentage of use by months, adapting it to our necessities. In this case, we are going to choose holiday, July, August. After that, we press the button Calculate, and it shows us an extended menu. Previously, observing technique data, we can see that the application recommends us a 24 volts system because of the loads and consumption that we have introduced. However, we can change the system voltage to 12.048 if our equipment are suitable. The other data is resumed in daily theoretical energy, depending on the data that we have chosen before. The performance ratio, which is the loss coefficient for different reasons that the final report will be detailed, and daily real power, which is the energy needed by the system really. Next, we note the photovoltaic field, which has been optimized by the system with components you have in the database. If we want to change the photovoltaic module, click to the Change button and we get into a new window where you can choose from the modules shown or add a new module. This feature is only for registered users, but registration is very fast and the advantages of being able to use the material that you want are obvious. In this case, we change to the module Suntech Power 185. Next, we change the parallel number, this time to 6, and we press the Calculate button again. We can see that the green arrow is marking the optimization degree, having some necessities of 1186 watt peak, and having chosen 1110 watts peak PV array. For economic issues, we are going to change the regulator to one of PWM type, and then we choose one of 30 amps. As I said before, the appliances can be introduced by ourselves. Then we apply the same procedure as in the case of the regulator and for the rest of the equipment. As we can see, the optimization degree is the right one. For the case of the battery, as we choose the optimization of auxiliary energy, and is it supposed that we have a generator for emergencies, we change to 2 days autonomy. Then we press the button Calculate, and we can see that the optimization degree is not the optimum one. We can see this because of the red color, which indicates that the option is not the best one. Also, we see that the battery is up to 149%, which means that we have a 39% of necessary battery. Moreover, we can observe that we need a battery with a real capacity of 550 amps hour, so we press the button Change. Once arrived to this point, we look for the battery that is closest to our needs. In our case, we choose this one. As we can see, we optimize the battery to 94%. If we don't dispose of stationary batteries and we have to put monoblock batteries in parallel, we can vary the number of parallels in this box. In the case of inverter charger, the inverter has already been optimized, so we leave it as it is. It is interesting to note that, considering that we can vary the ratio of simultaneity, which is the percentage of devices that may be running simultaneously, and the safety factor, which is nothing else than the percentage of the inverter used regarding their rated power. It is not good for the team to work at 100%, so we leave it at 80% safety margin. Once we introduce the data, we press Calculation Report. As we can see, it is a very detailed report, both calculation as chosen equipment. We can then print this report or download it in our computer, as we prefer. We hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much for your attention.